Hey everybody, I'm hoping this is working. This is the first time I'm doing a live thing like this. So let's see if it's working. I'm gonna give it a second here because it doesn't look like it's working on my end. All right, I think we're good. So I'm gonna start talking. Please actually do me a favor, leave in the comments down below if you can hear me, if everything's okay, and then we can jump right into it. I'm gonna get started. Leave a comment, and I can always go back and redo it if there is issues. So the first thing is the future of Amazon FBA. That's obviously what we're going to be talking about, and Amazon is changing. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you probably already know this. A lot of people are talking about how Amazon is changing, and I want to talk very specifically on that topic in this video. So as a lot of you guys already know, e-commerce is growing, and I'm going to talk about really quickly why to sell on Amazon. And it's crazy to me. If you have ever wondered, or if anyone's ever asked you, what percentage of sales do you think e-commerce it makes up, like e-commerce versus like retail sales? Like, what's the total number of sales? Most people would think, oh, 75% of all sales or 70% of all sales are happening online. That's not true. As of last year, only 12% of all sales happened on e-commerce, which is crazy. That means almost 90% of sales did not happen. This is a chart that I found talking about the growth of e-commerce. So you see, I think it was like 2013, it was at 6%, and it's been growing exponentially, which is, well, I guess exponentially. It's been growing really fast. 50% of all e-commerce sales happen on Amazon. And the reason I'm talking about all this is talking about the benefits of Amazon, and then we'll get into how it's changing. Amazon is a $1 million company, or sorry, $1 trillion company. That's freaking insane. It's a huge company. It's a beast. And as I mentioned in this slide, they've got a long way to go. Like they're gonna become a super profitable company. And Jeff Bezos actually mentioned that 50% of all sales on Amazon happen from third-party sellers, which is people like you, people like me. I'm considered a third-party seller. Jeff Bezos actually said, and you can Google this, third-party sellers are kicking our butt. And obviously, as a third-party seller, it helps Amazon out as well. But that's crazy to me that Jeff Bezos himself was saying, like, wow, the power of third-party sellers. And this is an old statistic I found. 200,000 plus sellers are over that $100,000 mark. I think this was in 2017. There was over 200,000 sellers over the 100K mark. I couldn't find a number of what it is to that, what it was in 2019, but even that 2017, and I'm sure it's much higher than that, that's like 4 football fields worth of people that were doing over 100K in sales. So let's talk a little bit about now that I hyped it up a little, let's talk about the future of Amazon FBA and some of the downsides. So there is 5 million Amazon sellers right now, 5 million people selling on Amazon. 4,000 new sellers are joining every day. And this is the future, right? It's going to become more and more saturated. Amazon's going to become more saturated, and there's going to be more people obviously joining as far as customers joining the Amazon platform, but there's also going to be a lot more competition. And this is what I firmly believe. A lot of the new sellers are going to be using the old methods. They're going to be doing the old school private label methods, all the old school things. And this happens over and over again. There's the late comers oftentimes are doing what people did 5 years ago that worked. And this really bothers me. I see a lot of people on YouTube, on Instagram, a lot of people teaching really old school methods. And we're going to talk about what the old school methods are versus where I think the future is coming in just a little bit in this video. And of course, if everyone's doing this, if everyone's zigging, you want to zag. You want to go after the new opportunities. And Amazon, as I mentioned in the earlier slides, there's a lot of freaking opportunities. As long as there's customers, and I've mentioned in other videos, there's 33 million customers on Amazon. So all these people are going to be fighting for this small part of the pie. You want to go out and you want to create a new pie, a new opportunity. And we're going to talk about how to do that, obviously, in this video. So here's the breakdown. I'm going to talk about what is Amazon FBA. So for anyone that doesn't know about Amazon FBA, I'm going to do a very quick overview of that. I'm also going to do a quick overview of the different ways to sell on Amazon. Then we're going to get into more detail about the future of Amazon FBA and what things need to change, and also how to capitalize. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to do a, let's go back. At the end of this video, I'm going to do a Q&A call and also talk about if you want to join. I do have a course that opened up today. If you want to join that, I'll talk about how you can join, how you can get involved, and how you can take the course for free. But the focus first, let's go into what is Amazon FBA. And I guess I should do an intro. Forgot to mention that. My name is Travis Marziani. And at any point during this video, comment with questions. I might wait till the end to really dive into the questions because I have a quick PowerPoint, but keep the questions coming and then I'll go back, I'll scroll through and I'll try to answer questions in order as much as possible. So let's get into it. So this is a little bit about me. A lot of you guys know I've been selling on Amazon. Well, it's actually funny. I've actually been selling in e-commerce for about 7 years, then Amazon for actually about 4 years. I don't actually talk about this. The first 2 years I was selling on Amazon was for a different company, a dance clothing company, but this is from my main company right here. In the last 2 years, I've done about $800,000, a little over $800,000 in sales. And that's just so you know, like I've done over $800,000 in sales. So I know that's just with my one company. Total in e-commerce, I've done probably about $3 million revenue. And we're going to talk about how I did it and how you can do it too, because it's not hard. Like, I mean, I'm not going to make it out to be super easy because it's not, but I mean, if I can do it, I believe other people can do it. And that's going to be the whole point of my channel. But that's going to be some of the things I talk about in this video, as well as, of course, the future of Amazon FBA. So at the end of the video, we will have like a long Q&A section, and I'll talk about how to get my course for free. So how Amazon FBA works. Well, most people probably here have bought things from Amazon. And right now, actually, I just looked, there's about 50 people watching this. If you're watching this, give this video a thumbs up. It helps to let me know that there's actually real people watching it, because a lot of times I see that there's viewers and I don't know, it's hard to tell who's real and who's not. But anyways, like this video. So you've probably purchased things from Amazon before, but most of the time when you're buying something, it's coming from what's called third-party sellers, individuals, people that create products. And it could be, we'll talk about some of the different ways to create a product. It could be wholesale, it could be private labeling. We'll talk about all those in detail. But somehow they get a product, they make a product, they have an idea for a physical product, something to sell on Amazon. Then they send the product into the Amazon fulfillment centers. Amazon stores your product. When a customer purchases your product, then Amazon picks and packs your product from their warehouses. So that's what makes Amazon such a big deal. That's why Amazon's a $1 trillion company, is they have these warehouses all throughout the country, all throughout the world, really. I mean, in the United States, obviously they have a ton of fulfillment centers, but they're expanding. They've Canada, UK, Europe, all that kind of stuff. And this is how you can make your product Prime eligible, is by being available in their warehouses. And what's even cooler about this is, and I'm not going to, talk about this too much, but you can go on vacation. You don't have to like be there physically shipping your products. My old school, when I started, and I'll talk about this later as well, when I started selling online, every time we got an order, I had to be there and shipping the product, packaging it, everything. You don't have to worry about that anymore with Amazon. That's what makes it such a great opportunity. Amazon then delivers the product to your customers. So let's go over very quickly, because I know a lot of you guys watching already know this, but the different ways of selling on Amazon. And the main four here are retail arbitrage, wholesale, private label, and what I love personally, creating your own product. And this is going to be a lot about what I think the future of Amazon is creating your own product. And I'll talk about why, obviously, in more detail, but let's get everybody up to speed here. So here are the four different ones: retail arbitrage, wholesale, private label, and creating your own product. Retail arbitrage is you basically buy items at a discount, you flip them on Amazon. So maybe you bought an item at you bought an item that's normally $50, you bought it at $20, and then when you sell it on Amazon, you make the product. It's really low risk. And you know what? I do think that this is going to be an opportunity to keep like making money in 2020 and beyond, because there will always be room for retail arbitrage, and you don't need that much cash to get started, but it's not a scalable business. It's basically, I think it's a fun side hobby, especially I've seen a lot of like low-income families and a lot of low-income students, for instance. They do well on this. It's a good way to get your feet wet. Like if you've never sold anything online and you just want to try out entrepreneurship, then I think this could be an option, but it's also not reliable. I mean, when I quit my corporate job, I wanted a business. I wanted something that I could make money from, even if I was traveling, even if, no matter what, basically. Where this, you need to be constantly putting in the work, and overall, it's just a bad business model. Then there's wholesale, where you buy items at wholesale prices. Maybe you talk to Nike, you talk to somebody, buy stuff at half off, and then sell it for the original price on Amazon. Sell it on Amazon. It's relatively easy. I think this is an easy business model. I don't think this is future-proof. I think this is something that's going to be dying. It's saturated and there's a lot of competition. Because if you can approach Nike, let's say hypothetically, and buy things at a discount, so can a million other people, and you're going to have a lot of competition. It's not a long-term business model. Not to mention, I didn't even put this in the PowerPoint, but companies, manufacturers, as soon as they see how big of an opportunity Amazon is, as soon as they see how much money you're making on Amazon, they're going to cut you out. They're going to cut out the middleman. So I do see, I get a note that I am echoing. I'm not sure what to do about that. Sorry, guys. I'll have to fix that for next time. Let me ask you right now, was it echoing at the beginning of the video too, or was this just later? So this is my first time doing it like this, so obviously there might be some mistakes. Crispy Taco was saying the same thing. Okay, let's see. I'll look at it really quick. I have no idea why it would be echoing. So I'm just going to keep going, and hopefully it gets fixed, because I don't think it was as bad at the beginning. All right. Private label. Find a winning product. Create your own private label of it. By a winning product, I mean you look at what's being sold on Amazon, and then you basically... Oh, it says just speak slowly. No. All right, just now. Okay. It's tough. I got a lot of stuff to go through, so I didn't want to bore you guys. I was trying to get over the boring stuff first so that we could get into like the juicy things, but thank you, Laugh More. The echo is just echoing. Okay. Yeah, I was worried about that, the echo being a little bit annoying. There shouldn't be any feedback. I've got headphones in, and also, there's nothing changed since I started. So let's just keep going. Private labeling, most of you guys know what this is, and it can be hard to find a product. It's expensive to start. So here's what I think is going to be one of the big opportunities, and then I'll get into more detail on the future of Amazon FBA. And this is creating your own product. And basically what you do, this is what I do. You guys, if you watch my channel, you already know this is kind of basically, I think, the biggest opportunity. And it's because there's not going to be any competition, because you're creating your own unique product. You can do it a few different ways. One of the ways you can do it is you can find an existing product and just make it better. Or you can create something completely new. I mean, for instance, I'll give my example later, but let's just quickly go over it. One of the benefits of this is you can sell it, if you create your own product, you can sell it on Amazon and also on Shopify. So this is what Nike did back in the day, right? They took an existing product, shoes, and they made it better. They did the waffle sole. I mean, even Apple, which is the most profitable company in the history of the world, the computers existed, but they made it better. They made it more user-friendly. And they found some, and then they did it again with MP3 players. Then they did it again with phones. And then the next thing is there's no to low cash to start, because you can do a Kickstarter. So that's a big advantage of creating your own product. There's also no competition. You own the market, but it does take some creativity. And I'll talk about, like, to come up with a unique product does take a little bit more work as far as creatively than it does like private labeling. Let's go over some of the, okay. So private labeling is dead, in my opinion. I've talked about this in a lot of videos, but and if it's not, I'm not saying you can't make money with private labeling in 2020, but it's a dying business model. It's so much harder. I would never recommend it to anyone. So here's some of the reasons why I think private labeling is dead. Oversaturated. There's so many people trying to sell the same products, the same private label products online, that it's just not worth competing over. I mean, you're not, the chances of you finding a successful product and being able to capture a big percentage of the market share is so small. I would not recommend it. China is another reason. China, a lot of the private label quote-unquote products, China is now selling directly on Amazon. They're cutting you out, the private labeler middleman. And then finally, if you do find a profitable private label product, I've seen so many people, Amazon knocks off their product and creates Amazon Basics. I had a friend that did this with backpacks. He created a backpack. Amazon found out about it, saw that he was doing really well, and just copied him. So my opinion, creating your own product is definitely the winning business model in 2020. And let's talk about the future of Amazon. So this is the whole reason everybody is here. Here's the future of Amazon. Amazon is only a sales channel. Think of it as the world's biggest, busiest, most happening swap meet or like flea market in the world. You should not be an Amazon seller. I think being an Amazon seller, quote unquote, in 2020 is death. What you need to do is you need to create a business where Amazon is one of the platforms. You need to create something interesting and unique enough that you could sell it on Shopify, that you could sell it to Walmart. And this is what I've done. This is what a lot of my students have done. So my girlfriend has done. And this is the way to continue to make money. And the reason for this is at any point, and I think I'm going to talk about this, at any point, Amazon can ban you. And they don't need you. They don't need you as a seller. So if you're an Amazon seller, and that's how you identify, if Amazon decides one day to ban you for any reason, then you're kind of screwed. But if you create your own unique product, you can sell it on Shopify and Walmart as well. And Amazon in 2020 is giving you less data. So what I mean by this is in the past, a few years ago, you got a lot of information. You got a lot of data when you made a sale on Amazon, they would allow you to send emails to the customers. They're not letting you do that as much anymore. They used to give you more customer data as well, and they're really limiting the customer data. Jeff Bezos has said from the very beginning that any customer of Amazon is an Amazon customer. They're not your customer. But see, if you're selling a product on Shopify, you get the data. And Walmart, you don't get the data so much, but my whole point is you need to have diversity. I think Amazon's a very powerful platform. I think it's the easiest way to make money right now, but keep in mind that you want these other platforms as well. There's also going to be more competition. As I mentioned, there's going to be more and more sellers coming in. This happens anytime there's a really big opportunity, it blows up with competition. And this is starting to happen. But as I mentioned earlier in like a much earlier slide, a lot of people are going to be still doing the old boring private label model. They're going to be doing the old models that don't work. So this is the future of Amazon. There's going to be more and more competition. So what I think you're going to be needing in the future of Amazon FBA is you're going to need a brand. It's going to need to be a solid brand. It's no longer like in the old days, you could private label anything and just make some kind of a junk brand and not have any followers and be okay. And I think in 2020 and beyond, you're going to need a tribe. You're going to need all the old school principles, all the things that worked 20 years ago are coming back in importance. And the reason for this is 5, 6, 7 years ago, you could put any junk product on Amazon and it would do really well. And nowadays, I think there's still some opportunity, but if you have a junk product with reviews, with all this kind of stuff, you're not going to succeed. But if you do have a tribe, if you have a lot of people that are backing your product, a lot of people that will go in and help get you reviews, help spread the word, then you're going to succeed on Amazon. It's going to make Amazon easy. And that's, I think the overarching thing of the future of Amazon is it's going to be the most profitable, most powerful channel, but you're going to need a brand, you're going to need a tribe, you're going to need to have a high quality product. So here's the future of Amazon. You're going to need to improve a product, severely improve a product, or create a new product. And this is the passion. We'll talk about the passion product method. This is my passion product. It's performance nut butter. And when I say passion product, I'll talk about what that is in just a second. But a passion product is something that you believe in yourself, something that you wish existed in the world. You create it, a business that you enjoy working on, that you're passionate about. My company, I haven't been working on it as much recently, to be honest with you, but that's by choice. I want the ability to be able to work on it when I want to work on it and not work on it when I don't. But here's the key. When I do want to work on it, I want to love it. I'll talk about my story in a little bit, but back when I first quit my corporate job, I started a dance clothing company with my mom. And I did not enjoy working on that. I didn't understand the customer. It was just for the money. And I think the future of Amazon is going to be a lot of individual sellers creating amazing products, creating products that they're passionate about, doing something they love, and leveraging Amazon as a platform. You're also going to need to brand your product in the future. And that's another thing I did. Obviously, my product's branded. I think that if you just have generic stuff you're selling on Amazon, you may be able to do that if you're a multimillionaire and you can, if you're a multimillionaire and you can sell your product at the cheapest, then sure, you don't need to necessarily have a brand. But by having a brand, it creates a premium product and you can sell your product at a premium. The next thing is you're going to need to improve a product. And it's similar to, I guess that's what I said up there. But yeah, that's very important. And when you create your own product, I think it's a spectrum, right? At the bare minimum, it's got to be unique. Then if it can be branded, that's even a step up. But the biggest thing that you can do is actually create a product that you really believe in and you're passionate about. And I'll give you an example of this. If, for instance, you created a unique product, let's say, I don't know, it was just, whatever, some piece of junk, but you didn't really believe in it. And then someone came around who was passionate about it. So let's say hypothetically, you created, like, let's say I created a new style of dance shorts for women, and I didn't really care about it, but like, I wanted to make some money. I could make some money doing that. Sure, that's a unique product. It's a new style of dance shorts that had some functionality. But if someone came along that's been dancing their entire life, that really understood the product and was really passionate about it, they would crush me because they would have the drive, the motivation. They would understand the product. They would understand the customer so much better. And so that's where I think the future of Amazon, I think that's the future of the world. I'm going to be very blunt. I think that with artificial intelligence coming and a lot of the old boring jobs that people were doing are going away. The future is going to be doing things that you love and making money doing it. And it's with Amazon, it's easier to make money by creating a product that you love than it's ever been before. Like, you watch Shark Tank. If you've ever watched Shark Tank, the people that are selling on there or the people that are pitching on there, they're not just random people that are like, oh, I had this idea and I wanted to make some money. No, they have cool stories. They believe in their product. And the sharks love that because they know that that person's going to be successful. Imagine if you were a shark and someone was pitching to you and they said, yeah, I don't know, this is a cool niche and like I just wanted to make some extra money, versus someone that's like, this product changed my life. And that's what you want to do. You need to find the product that changes your life, the thing that when you wake up like in the morning, you're excited to go work on because you know you're selling something of high value. You don't want to be selling junk. You don't want to be selling snake oil. So here's a passion. This is a passion product. So some examples I've already mentioned. Nike was a passion product. Phil Knight was a track and field star. He's the guy that invented Nike shoes. Him and the co-owner of the company, they were obsessed with shoes. Apple, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, obsessed with computers. Tim Ferriss, if you're a Tim Ferriss fan, leave it in the comments. Let me know. I'm a huge Tim Ferriss fan. His product that he was able to write the 4-Hour Workweek with, the way he was able to create passive income, Brain Quicken, he was obsessed with this idea of how to improve your brain. So I'm just going to do very quick my last 2 years, and these numbers are a little bit outdated, just to be very clear. So I've done over $800,000 in revenue, but keep in mind, there are fees with selling on Amazon. I don't want to sell you the dream and make it sound like it's all amazing. So in the last 2 years or so, I've done over $200,000, over almost $300,000 profit, which I am so freaking grateful for. I've had a really fun last 2 years, and I've done a lot of traveling. I've kind of neglected my business, but I guess it's okay because with Amazon, it's still running. As I mentioned, because I send my products into the Amazon warehouse, it keeps selling even if I'm not there. So I'll tell my story just very quickly. I'll talk about how you can do it, and then we'll get into the Q&As and all that kind of stuff. So as a lot of you guys know, my name's Travis. I've had a corporate job about 7 years ago. I got really depressed. I've talked about this on the channel before. It was insane. The depression, I'm not someone that's really gotten depressed in my life too often, but I'd say the last 6 months before I quit my corporate job was the lowest point of my life. The way I describe it is like I had a suit of armor on that weighed 1,000 pounds. Every single thing I did took so much effort. I just didn't care about anything. Nothing was enjoyable. And I read the 4-Hour Workweek, Tim Ferriss book, and I heard about this idea of passive income, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. And I didn't do anything about it. And I was just like, you know what? One day I'll quit my job. And every single day that went by, I got more and more depressed. And it was terrible. Honestly, it was so bad until it got to the point where I just didn't know what else to do. I felt like I was dying inside. I felt like a drone. And so I finally decided one day, you know what? I gotta make a change. I woke up, actually, this is what happened. I woke up happy for the first time in probably 6 months with this idea. I had like a dream and this idea of quitting my job, and I woke up happy and I was smiling, and I was like, wow, I miss this feeling. And I'm like, I gotta quit this job, man. It was literally felt like my soul was being sucked out of my body. So rock bottom. The first company I started was with my mom. I started a dance clothing company, something I didn't care about, something I wasn't passionate about, but the money, it was a good way to make money, right? And I struggled. And here's the truth. I think anytime you're doing something just for the money, it's soul sucking. That was the same thing when I had my corporate job. I was just doing it for the money, and it was soul sucking. B-Dancer came along, and it was a step up because I had my freedom to some degree, and except I became my own slave. And after a little while, though, I realized, man, I don't want to be doing this. I don't care about dance clothing. So I struggled for a little while. I heard about Amazon. Actually, what ended up happening is we ended up selling the dance clothing, B-Dancer dance clothing, on Amazon about 4 years ago. And oh my gosh, it just took off. It was selling, I think our first month we did like $15,000 in sales, which on bdancer.com, my own website, which is basically like a Shopify website, it took us a year to get to $15,000 in sales, but within a month of launching on Amazon, we were doing that. And I had this like aha moment, and I realized that I need to create a product to sell on Amazon. And with the dance clothing company, we had a lot of SKUs, a lot of inventory. It was a big headache. I wasn't passionate about it. That's when I got the aha moment. I wanted to create this product, Performance Nut Butter, that was a product that I was actually passionate about. And basically, a lot of you guys know, on Instagram, I created an Instagram, got a Facebook launch group together. I raised $15,000 on Kickstarter, which paid for pretty much most of my first production run, launched the product on Amazon, and within 2 months of launching my product on Amazon, I hit my goal. So I didn't say this, but when I quit my corporate job, I had a goal to make $300 a day passive income, basically 6 figures a year passive income. Because in my head, if I can make 6 figures a year, quote unquote, passively, meaning like I don't have to actively work every single day, meaning I could go on vacation for 2 months. I'm going to be very clear here too. It takes work to get to passive income, but once you're selling a product on Amazon, once you've launched it, it pretty much runs itself. I mean, you do have to continue to order new inventory. And look, if you completely neglect it, like I have these last 2 years, your sales will start to dip. Like more competitors will come in. But man, for 2 years, there's times where my sales even increased. Like there was times where my sales increased and I wasn't even touching the business. This is insane. Like this is the thing I wish I would have found out about 7 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of struggle. So the last few years I've been doing a lot of traveling, going to some of my dream locations, like enjoying life again for the first time in a while. And what I'm trying to provide to people with my YouTube channel, obviously I mentioned the course that opened up today. So if you're interested in that, and we'll talk about later in the video how to get on for free. What I'm trying to do is provide people a map, because most people say, hey, yeah, follow the shortest route. And what you don't realize is there's a bunch of mistakes and a bunch of errors. What I'm saying is, no. There's actually like a hidden path that no one tells you about that I'm going to tell you about in this video, in other videos. So quickly, I'm going to go over how to do it. And I do have a video. I don't know how to link. I'll link down below, but I do have like an 1.5-hour long video where I talk about in depth, basically how to sell on Amazon. But this is going to be like a condensed version of that video. So the first step is to find a product. And here's some of the different criteria, but one of the biggest ones is you want to make sure it's premium. Make sure that you can sell it at a higher price. You don't want to be the cheapest product. You want to be the most expensive, because that means you can have the biggest margins. You want to go after the customers that are willing to spend more for quality, and you want to provide quality. Now, there's a bunch of other things as well to go over, and I'll talk about that in the other video. So how to create a product, you're going to make it better. You're going to add a brand to it. You're going to add features, functionality to it. And the biggest thing for finding an idea for a product is to scratch your own itch. What I mean by this is find something that you wish existed in the world and go and create it. Because if you, here's a big, I think I'll mention this in a second. Yeah, look at this is the wrong image for this, but look at what you've ordered on Amazon in the past. Look at what you're searching for Amazon. So anytime you search for something on Amazon and it's not there, like no product exists, that is like that should be a light bulb moment. For instance, for me, I looked up, I think it was like, I forget what I exactly looked up, but it would be something like keto nut butter. And there was no keto nut butter when I first launched my product, or paleo nut butter, or like high quality nut butter. Like my product, nothing like it existed on Amazon. When I went to search for it, nothing existed. Same thing with my girlfriend's product, which I'll talk about at the end of this video. My girlfriend's product that I helped her create a product last year. I didn't want to create that product. I wanted to just buy it from Amazon, but it wasn't on Amazon. So I'm like, uh-oh, we're going to have to create this. And honestly, I'm at the point in my life where, not in a bragging way, but I don't need the money. So if I find a new idea, like sometimes I'd rather just buy a product than have to go and create it. But if I have that strong enough desire to create, like the nut butter company, for instance. I really wanted to create that product. I was like, man, this is an amazing product. It wasn't just about the money. I wanted to create it for me. Same thing with the Vino cards, my girlfriend's product. I wanted to create that product for me because I was like, man, this would be a really cool product to exist. So I'd recommend writing down one idea a day and ask yourself, how can you improve? Like, take existing products in your world, ask yourself how you can improve the products, or look at the activities you do every day and say, hey, how can I improve this activity? And I do see that there are a lot of questions. I will be getting to all those in a little bit. Do not worry. And I know that the echoing comes in and out. I'll fix that for next week or the next time. I'm planning on doing these basically once a month. Probably, I know this is Tuesday, but I think going forward it'll be like the first Thursday. So let's keep going. Credit card statements. Look at your credit card statements. Look at how do you spend your money. That'll help reflect, like that'll show you what you're passionate about. All right, making a brand, and let's talk about why you should make a brand. More profit. When you have a high quality brand, people will pay more for your product. Loyalty. People are loyal to brands. I know so many people that buy only Nike shoes. Even if Reebok has better shoes, they don't care. They buy. They're loyal to a certain brand. You see this with like truck companies, for instance. People are like, I'm only going to buy American made, and that's the kind of loyalty you have when you have a brand. And let's go over, I think that private labeling is dead. You need a quality brand. No longer are the days where you can just sell junk. I know I've said this about 1,000,000 times, but it needs to be said another 1,000,000 times, because right now I know that there's people out there trying to private label junk products. And you know what? Maybe you can get it to work for a little while. I'm not saying you can't make money doing this. Look, the example I give is you can make money doing anything if you work hard enough. If you want to sell rocks door to door, you can make some bucks doing that. But it's not worth it. Like, that's not a smart idea. You shouldn't waste your time doing that. Like, do the easiest way to make money. So let's go. So I have another video where I talk about how to brand your product. Again, that's the 1.5 hour long video. I will link it. Right after I'm through this PowerPoint, I'll link it for you guys, and then we'll do questions. So if you like this video so far, again, hit that like. We got 21 likes, 3 dislikes. Sorry, guys. I'm assuming the dislikes are coming from the echoing, but 21 likes, that's really nice. Thank you, guys. Creating raving fans. This is going to be another big thing. So why should you create raving fans? Raving fans will spread the word about your product. They'll tell everyone. Amazon is a search engine, yes, but the real world is where you're going to make a lot of profit off of humans, customers, people that buy your product and love it. They're going to go tell their friends, this is how things get viral. Also, when you create raving fans, they're going to leave the reviews, and the reviews are going to get you higher up in the search results. So a product launch group is the best way to create raving fans. I've done videos on this. If you search my channel, look for product launch group. It's huge. I'd say this contributed to my success more than almost, other than maybe making in my opinion, and I mean this in the most humble way possible, other than making a great product, I think the product launch group was the second most important thing. And there's a lot of ways you can go create raving fans, but basically you want to try to get people into your launch group. And I talked about this in another video. I'm going to skip over this stuff because it's not super important. So next step, something I recommend if you're going to be selling on Amazon and if you're going to create your own unique product, launch a Kickstarter. Test out your idea. Make sure that it's actually a good idea. And I raised $15,000 on Kickstarter. That's another benefit of Kickstarter. I keep hitting the mic. Sorry about that. Is you can go out and you can raise money. Make sure that basically making sure that people actually pay for it. It also creates buzz, and it creates a better story. People love the story of he started from nothing and he grew a brand, he or she, like they love that kind of like underdog story. And so I think even if you have the money to go directly to Amazon, I still recommend people do Kickstarter first. Plus, it's free money. It's like some extra money. It's kind of nice. And I'm not saying it's not going to take work to do a Kickstarter. Please, like, don't make me, don't make it sound like I'm saying this isn't, it's not a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. But it was relatively easy for me, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So again, I will talk about in detail how to set up your Kickstarter. I have another video for that 1.5 hour long tutorial that I'll link down below. I talk in depth about that. Let's talk about finding a manufacturer. Alibaba. Very easy to do. A lot of people get hung up on this step of how do you find a manufacturer. Go to Alibaba, that's one option, and you can find someone to manufacture your product. Other tips, Google it. Google whatever your keywords are, whatever you're trying to look for, whatever type of manufacturer, go to trade shows. Jungle Scout actually has a tool that will help you find manufacturers as well. I have a link down below to Jungle Scout with like a discount code. You can use them. And honestly, I don't use Jungle Scout for product research, but that one tool is pretty powerful. Start emailing, start calling people. And as you do this, like let's say you call a manufacturer and let's say you call a manufacturer and they can't help you out, they probably know someone that can. That's what happened to me. The first manufacturer I called said, oh, you should go call this other person. And I called that person. They said, actually, I can't help you. They said, you should call this other person. Like the third person was finally able to call or to help me out. So finding a supplier is not hard. Then you're going to create your product listing, and this is a more advanced thing. I'm going to quickly go over this. And you know what? Actually, let's talk about this. In just a second, I will talk about how to join the course, how to get my course and my help for free, because that's the biggest thing. The reason I started a YouTube channel was to help other people, and I really want to see more people create amazing products. Like, I want to help people make money, obviously, but what I want to do is build long-term. I want to build a community of people that have built passion products, that have created passion products, that have created freedom, like freedom to be able to travel the world, and they work when they want to work. They work on what they want to work, and they work on a business that they love. So like when they do work, they love what they're doing, but they can work from wherever in the world they want, whenever they want. Like they're their own boss. Like that's my goal. I'll talk about how to get my help for free very soon, obviously. You know what? I'm gonna skip over this. This is stuff on how to create a product listing, how to launch your product. I have other videos on this. You guys don't need to know this. And then finally, launch your product. And this is where having a tribe is so important. They're going to buy your product from day one. They're going to leave reviews. I mean, they shouldn't leave the reviews on day one. They should wait till they get the product so the reviews actually work. But basically, from day one, they're going to buy your product, leave reviews. That's going to let Amazon know that your product is amazing. That's the launch group there. That's going to let Amazon know that your product's amazing. And Amazon's going to put you to the top of the search results. And here's some different techniques about how to do this. You're going to want to send out emails. You're going to want to build hype before you launch your product. Then once you get it up and going, you can do Amazon's PPC and optimize it. All right. So a typical month for me, and actually I will be completely blunt. December, my sales did drop a little bit, but this is like on average what a month looks for me. January, they did pick up again. I'll do a video for that. Last month, January, they were a lot better. But a typical month for me, I do about $34,000 revenue. Now, again, on the internet, everyone always talks about revenue and they never share all their costs. So I do have a bunch of costs, and I've talked about these in so many videos, I won't bore you with this. But at the end of the day, on a typical month, I'm doing about $12,000 profit, which, I'll be honest with you, still blows my mind. Like that's, I don't know, I'm really grateful for that. It's crazy because I have not been doing my business justice. I've been neglecting it. I'm going to start working on it again because it was kind of scary to watch my sales drop. But for about 2 years, this was my average income report, and holy cow. Like, honestly, like I get kind of emotional like when I think about this for a second, that when I had the corporate job, I was working way harder than I've been working these last 2 years. But I made way more money these last 2 years with this. And this is amazing. Like this is, I'm not trying to sell you guys on this. I hope you realize, like, I hope this is like a wake up moment of like, this is freaking possible. If I can do it, you can do it. Like I don't know. There's nothing, everything I know, I will tell you and I share with you. So let's give a quick example. Ariana, my girlfriend. So this is a little bit, maybe more of a realistic example. Not that mine's not realistic, but my girlfriend, we've been together for we just actually had our 3rd year anniversary last week. And she had a corporate job and she didn't really like what she was doing. And she's like, I want to create passive income. And she tried a bunch of different ways to do it. And I'm like, she's like, I'll create a blog. And I'm like, don't create a blog. Like, that's the worst way to make passive income. So I'm like, why don't you try my method? And we came up with this idea together for Vino cards. And last month, December, here's her income report. She did $6,000, a little over $6,000 revenue. After all her costs, she ended up about $1,500, which was enough for her. So she quit her job, and that was enough for her to cover her bills. Now, I do want to be honest. We live together, and I do pay most of the rent. She contributes a lot. She helps me out. We have a deal where basically she helps out in other ways, and she's amazing. But $1,500, she made enough last month to cover all of her expenses. And up until 3 months ago, she had a full-time job. So she's only been doing that. She quit her job about 3 months ago, and So most of the time that she was working on this business, she had a full-time job and she was able to do $1,500 a month. So my question to you is, my question to you really quick is, would $1,500 extra a month, what would that do to your life? Like, how would that improve? What would you do with that money? I know for me, I'd go out to nicer restaurants. I would travel. I would do a lot of things. Well, I mean, I am doing that now. But like back when I had my corporate job, if I could make an extra $1,500 a month, I would have lived a much better lifestyle. So here's how Ariana did it, and then we're going to get into some of the Q&A stuff. So she had the idea. She posted on Instagram to create a product launch group to get a following, to build a tribe. Launched on Kickstarter. She raised about $5,000, a little over $5,000 on Kickstarter. Then she found a manufacturer, which is super easy. I helped her with that, but honestly, Alibaba.com, not hard to do. And then she launched her product on Amazon. Here's her Amazon listing. Launched it, and boom, she was making an extra $1,000 a month or so. So my goal for anybody that joins and wants my help is to try to get them to an extra $10,000 a month in 6 months. Now that's aggressive. I'm going to be fully honest with you. It might take a year. It might take even longer. I was able to do it in about from idea to launching, it was about 6 to 9 months to be making $10,000 a month. So I think you can do that. But again, if you were able to make an extra $1,000 a month, would it be worth it? I would hope so. I would assume so. Let's see what we got here. So I'm going to talk about how you can get my course for free. And right now, do you have a question? If you have any question, please leave it down below. And while you guys are putting your questions in the chat, I'm going to tell you basically how to sign up for my course for free. And it just opened up today. There's 20 spots available. Well, there was 20 spots available. 6 have already sold. So there's 14 spots available. I'm closing registration next Tuesday at midnight, no matter what. So we can skip this stuff. Most people are trying to do Amazon. Most people are trying to make money by themselves. They're doing it the hard way. They spend hours of researching. They make mistakes that cost thousands of dollars. Most people that try Amazon struggle and give up. Do not be one of these people, please. Don't be one of the people that struggle, never ask for help. I understand it. Like, this is how I was. For the first 5 years or so of my entrepreneurial journey, I was like, I'm a man. I don't need anybody's help. That is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Use other people's knowledge. Use other people's help. As soon as I started asking for help, as soon as I started getting advice from other people, my business, I started making so much more money. And that's why I want to give back. And the better way is to find a mentor. And I'm happy to be your mentor. And a mentor is a weird word, but a mentor could even be just watching YouTube videos and learning from other people. Mentor can mean whatever you want. Obviously, if you want more of a one-on-one help, I can help you with that. You want to get all your knowledge in one place. I think a lot of people, they spend so long hunting and packing, watching different YouTube videos, saying, oh, maybe I should do this. And they go this is what the typical person does. They go 5 feet one direction, and then they find another YouTube video that tells them to go 5 feet in the other direction, and then 5 feet over here. If you follow any one path and go forward slowly, you can be successful. I hate to say this. If you did private labeling and just really did it step by step, you could probably you'd make more money than never doing anything. But don't do private labeling. That's not the best way to do it. And another big thing is get a support network. You don't want to try to do this by yourself. Obviously, find someone that's ahead of you, a mentor. But you also want to find people at the same level as you, allies. You want to find people that are friends, people that are going through the journey with you. And I want to help you for free. Seriously. So let's talk about it. So I do have a course, and the way my course works, basically, just to let you guys know, I do require a deposit. It's basically a $997 deposit, $1,000 deposit, and you have 2 options. Basically, if within 30 days of checking out the course you don't like it, I'll give you your money. You could watch all my videos for free. Watch all the videos. At least sign up, watch all my videos, and then if you're like, yo, this isn't for me, whatever, get your money back. Or the better way that I want you to get your money back is to go through the course step by step, actually launch a product and give me a testimonial. And if you do that, I'll give you your deposit back. And the reason I'm doing this, as I mentioned before, is I was dumb. I was dumb, arrogant. I'm not saying I'm not still both of those things, but when I first started out, I was especially just hard-headed, and I wanted to figure out everything myself, and I wanted to do everything myself, and you don't need to do that. Let me teach you everything I've learned from the last 7 years of my e-commerce experience. I've done millions of dollars in sales. I've done, with just one of my companies, almost $1 million in revenue on Amazon alone. I also sell my product on Shopify. So here's what you're going to get if you do decide to put in your deposit. Remember, it's refundable. You'll get the in-depth course. You're going to get 6 weeks of group Q&A calls. Like, obviously, this call, I've been doing a lot of talking. The Q&A calls is purely Q&A. And we will be doing Q&A in just a second in this video, but the Q&A calls is literally I go around and say, hey, Steve, do you have a question? Hey, AJ, do you have a question? We just go through one by one. So the reason this is so valuable is because as you try out my method, as you try to start selling on Amazon, you're going to have questions. And most people never find out the answer to those questions. Most people quit. Don't do that. Let me answer the question for you. You're also going to get access to my Facebook group for a lifetime. So that's another thing. If you can't make it to the weekly Q&A call, you can post something in the Facebook group. And this is a good way to support each other. You're also going to get 2 one-on-one private hour-long calls with me. That's an hour where you and me just sit down kind of like this, except for you're actually going to have a conversation with me and tell me what's going on and tell me how I can help you out. Then you're also going to get a checklist where I have a checklist that's step by step, like literally everything you need to do to be successful on Amazon. And if you follow this checklist, I can pretty much guarantee you'll be successful. And then I've done a lot of other courses on selling, like an AdWords course, a Shopify course, and a Facebook course. I'll throw in all those for free. And all this stuff, again, it's a $5,000, like no joke. I hear people saying it's a $5,000 value. This stuff is hands down worth $5,000 for free. And there's 2 reasons. I want to make it very clear. There's 2 reasons why I'm doing this. Like I know a lot of people think that, I think a lot of people think that people do courses just to make the money. And I'm trying to prove you wrong on this, because if you follow through and complete the course, I will give you your money back. It's not about the money for me. Like, look, if you don't follow through, let me put it this way. If someone joins my course and wastes my time and never launches a product, I will keep the money, right? But I don't want that. I want to have success stories. And this is the first reason why I'm doing this for free, is I want to help me out. This is a picture of me when I quit my corporate job. And I was living in Chicago at the time. This was when I started my first business. I was so goofy. I was holding a credit card, a business credit card. And I was so proud. But let me tell you, I was in a lot of pain. I had a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. I had no idea what to do. I was so anxious. I was depressed, and that's not easy for me to admit. I wish I could go back in time and I could grab myself and say, Travis, like, let me help you. It doesn't have to be so hard. I wish I could shake that old version of myself and like help them out. I can't, but I can help you. And that's what I want to do, because I guarantee if you're not already, there will be some point in your entrepreneurial journey where you're having a tough moment, where you're in a bad spot, and I want to be able to help you out and help you through that. That's the big thing. Is this is a way for me to. I wish someone would have done this for me. I can't. No one did. I mean, kind of people did, but I wish someone would have done more so. So I'm going to help you out. And then the second thing is testimonials, basically. Eventually, I want to start making a lot of money from this course. Let's be honest. This is something very valuable and something I can make money from. Look. Even in the future, I still want to, my main goal is always going to be helping people. But if I can help people be successful, people like you, and you can basically become a success story and share your success story with people, it's going to help me sell my product. So I have a vested interest in making you successful. So that's why I'm doing this for free. I've gotten some criticism. I've read some of I shouldn't read YouTube comments, but I've read some of the YouTube comments, and people are like, scam. He's just trying to steal your money. No. Try my course. Try my course out for, it's not even a course. Like, I don't know what you want to call it, an academy, a mentorship program, whatever you want to call it. And there's a link down below, and it's effectiveecommerce.com/ppfswitch is the link. Click on that link, put in your email, and I'll email you. Make sure you're a good fit for the course. And as soon as you put in your email, it'll also bring you to the product page. Remember, there is only 14 spots left, and it closes at midnight next week. And here's the big thing too. I get a lot of criticism about this, and a lot of people say, why don't you just help out everybody for free if you're trying to create success stories? And this is probably obvious to a lot of you, but people don't value things when they're free. I've tried to help out people for free, and almost everyone I've tried to help out for free ends up giving up as soon as it's hard. That's why I came up with the idea of a deposit, because if I'm going to give my time to you, I would give you my time I'd give my time away for free as long as I know that you're actually going to follow through. So that's the big core thing here. And yeah, it's a refundable deposit. When you complete the training, you get your money back, or 30-day money back guarantee. Honestly, and some people do this. Some people join the course, they just watch all the videos. I think it's kind of a terrible thing to do, but they'll take all my material and they'll just ask for the money back, and I give it to them. Don't be one. I highly recommend not being one of those people. I'm willing to bet that 99% of those people will not be successful because they're not going to value the material. But you know what? If you want to try it out, that's up to you. All you have to do, just sign up using the link down below, and then just make sure within 30 days of signing up, before 30 days of signing up, email me. I'll give you your money back. Like, it's not that I won't hold the grudge over you, but I want to see you be successful. I don't want you to quit on this. And obviously, if you keep going through with it, I'll be giving you more value. I'll give you more of the Q&A calls, more of the mentorship, and all that kind of stuff. So all that being said, I'm looking for 20 people. I've already got 6 people that have signed up. I just launched it this morning. So those 20 spots are probably going to fill up pretty quickly. So I highly recommend clicking the link down below. I'm willing to help for free in exchange for a testimonial. And sign up with the link down below. I think that's the end. So let's get into some Q&As, guys. I'm going to make my face bigger. Oops, let's see. How do I make my face bigger? All right. So I just talked a lot there. All right. So I got one question and it said, Travis, I thought you had 20 spots filled. Yeah, I did. A few, like, I think it was like a month ago I launched it, and I'm reopening it. And my plan is, I don't know how often I don't know how often I'm going to reopen the course, but I'm opening it up now. I might not open it up again for another 2 to 3 months. It really depends on, again, not in a bragging way, but I'm happy with how much money I'm making. It's not about the money for me. It's about how many people I can help. So I'm going to open it up as often as I think I can handle it. So I'm opening it up right now. Let's see what else we got. Comments are lit. All right, we got David saying, I think if he made the extra money, he'd pay off some student loans. That's I think a great idea. That's what Ariana has so much money in student loans. Our joke, I think she's okay with me saying this. My joke with Ariana is that we'll see like a homeless person. I'm like, that homeless person has, I don't say this as much anymore because it's mean, but I'm like, that homeless person has more money than you because she's got, I'm not going to say exactly how much she has, but she has a ridiculous amount of student loans. So our joke is that she has negative money where a homeless person only has $0. So someone said about the echo again. Again, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why that would have happened. Oh, no, I don't know. Yeah, I'll look into that for next time. So Laugh More said there are many YouTube channels that provide what courses can't. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I think there's a lot of valuable stuff on YouTube. I 100% agree with that. But the benefit, again, of a course is that it's sequential. It's very step by step. You're not going to get lost. And a good course, and I don't know, I'd love to hear what you guys think. I don't want to, I think what I'm offering is more than a course. It's really like mentorship plus a community. I didn't even actually mention all the benefits. There's more benefits. If you want to see all the benefits of joining up, there's more benefits than even that in the link down below. One of the things, too, is I'll put you in a mastermind group with other students, which I'm in the process of redoing because I did it once and it didn't work as well. But as we get more students, we're going to be able to have more and more students. So it's more than just that. Oh, I got FedEx apparently. Let's see. One second. That's the problem with doing a live thing in your apartment. FedEx might show up at any second. Here we go. So I did not plan this, but look at that. Boom. That's the power of Amazon. I interrupted a live stream talking about Amazon FBA to get an Amazon package. This is where I order everything from. I see some people in the comments talking about drop shipping. I think that's a free, I mean, I'm going to be blunt. Drop shipping is a joke. Like, I think that might have worked 5, 6, 7 years ago. Watch some videos about what Jeff Bezos thinks about drop shipping. It's basically the reason drop shipping is going to get killed by, it's already being killed by Amazon. When's the last time you bought something from a drop shipping website? I don't know, 4 years ago? People buy things either from Amazon or their own, or from companies' websites. Like, I do still get sales as Performance Nut Butter. I still get sales on my Performance Nut Butter website because people want to go directly to the brand source. You either want to buy something from Amazon and get it in 2 days, or you want to go directly to like a brand. You don't want to go buy some junk products from some drop shipping website that you're not going to get the product for 3 weeks. So yeah, I think that's hilarious. Oh, AJ, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we got here. So Nick asked, what's an updated opinion on the cards market, such as Vino cards or enthusiast cards? I like it. I think if you have the right, I'm not going to tell what the product is yet, but I have an idea for basically a type of, actually I have two. I'm not going to tell what either one of them are, but I'm working with AJ on a set of enthusiast cards, we'll say it. A product that's somewhat similar to Vino cards, but different. And you know what? I think it's going to do really well. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a $1 million company, but I think that Amazon is a good starting point for that kind of a product. And then with Vino cards, for instance, the key is going to be getting it into wine shops, getting it into wineries, things like that. And then I'm working on a product with AJ. That kind of product might be perfect for other like wholesale and retail. Like Amazon's just one platform. And I think it's a good way, it's a good safety net. So you launch a product and you launch it on this platform, and then from there you can spread it around. I also, as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a different type of cards that is, if you've watched this channel enough, I have a hobby that I think flashcards would do really well for, and there's not a product like that on the market. I know because I wanted to buy this product, but I actually searched in Amazon activity flashcards and nothing came up, and I was like, uh-oh, I might have to create this product. So Brady said, hi Travis, joined your course today, and I just wanted to say thank you for being you, brother. I'm ready to put in the work. So, and then he said, do you think it's possible to make $5K month net in 6 months? Yes. If you put in the work, it depends to, are you doing this full time? Are you doing this part time? And the quick answer is yes, but I don't want to make it sound like it's going to be super simple. To get to 5K profit a month in 6 months, you're going to have to put in some work, and it's going to be easier for you because I'll work with you. And here's the other big thing I want to make very clear. I help everybody in the course for sure. But when I see people putting in extra work, which like AJ's he's been putting in extra work, I'm going to go out of my way, like, to help you out. And in some ways, my course is a little bit of a filtering system because some people join, they don't ever show up to the Q&A calls, they don't respond to my emails, they don't do anything, and that's fine. They want to do the course at their own pace. But the people that I'm like, man, you're on it, you're working hard, I'm going to like do some extra, side calls with you. I'm going to do some extra little things here and there, maybe some emails and things. So can you do it in 6 months? Yes, it's completely possible. Will you? That's up to you. I mean, yeah, in 6 months, you can for sure do it. So Laugh More just asked, what's my experience between dropshipping and Amazon? I did, wait, what if you had started dropshipping, then the Amazon, where would you be right now? So Laugh More, I would never do dropshipping. I can't believe there's still YouTube channels talking about that. I think that dropshipping's a joke, and there might be some dropshipping models that work. I haven't seen, and look, again, I think you can make money dropshipping. I think you can make money selling rocks door to door as well, but I would never tell one of my friends to do it. People don't want to buy from some untrustworthy website. The only way I think dropshipping would work is if you were selling things that would not work well for Amazon, like big items maybe, or things like that. And if you wanted to become, what's the word? Like like for instance, if you wanted to be the kayak king and you had a website where you were the king of kayaks and you knew everything there was about kayaks and you had a YouTube channel dedicated to kayaks and you had articles about like sea kayaks versus river kayaks, and that's the kind of item that you probably could still drop ship, I'll be honest with you. But you have to be super dedicated because people have to trust you and they have to want to buy your product, where Amazon, people already trust Amazon. Like I don't know if I want to open it live. Let's see. I bought this product off Amazon. I'm assuming I bought it. It could have been for Ariana. I brought this product and I just trusted that it would show up. When I go to some random website, I still don't trust it. Oh yeah. Same day. I bought this morning. Holy cow. Same day delivery. I bought, it's like some, what is it? Like greens powder. I bought this morning. I noticed that I was out of it and it already arrived. Good luck doing that with drop shipping. This is why I would buy from Amazon rather than this website's company. This is why I trust Amazon. I know that it's going to get here on time. It's going to be, if I have a problem, I can easily return it. I think I've said enough about drop shipping at this point. Oh, okay. Let's see what I think. All right, we've got some more questions here. So what do you think the worst category to sell in on Amazon is? I think, I'm not going to give you a great answer to this. Well, I think people think the worst category is food, but it's actually easy. So I haven't had any issues. A lot of people think supplements is a really tough category as well. I don't think it's bad. I think the worst category is anything that is saturated, for one. And honestly, for me, I think it's anything that you don't care about. Like if you're just doing it for the money. And obviously that's a very Travis answer to give, but I wouldn't be worried about what category. Yeah, Nick, just to let you know, AJ's a member. Thanks AJ for joining the call. AJ's, I saw him in the comments and he is a member of the course and we're working on something together that I'm really excited about. And I think that, it might not be the most profitable product in the world, but I think it'll be good for other reasons that I'll talk about in future videos. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so from your sis, said, how much time do we have to complete your course and start selling? So a year. I think a year's fair. Here's the thing though, if I see you working hard, I'll give you a little bit longer. Like I'm not trying to, this isn't like supposed to be some kind of like a trick of like, you've only got 3 months to launch your product. I hope you get it out in time. It's like a year. I think if you don't do it within a year, you're probably dragging your feet. But if it's like, oh no, there were some complications and it actually took a year and a month or year and 2 months, whatever. I don't really care about that. Like that's not a big deal to me. It's just, I don't want to hear someone 5 years later being like, well, I finally launched a product. And I'm like, dude, it's been 5 years. Like I don't need your testimonial anymore. So about a year. So Meta said, on my first sale from dropshipping, I got my first customer support email asking where the package was after 5 days. Yeah, I mean, 5 years ago, people expected things to take 2 weeks. Actually, I love that this came today. This is such funny timing. I literally ordered this morning. I need to start doing that before every live, is try to order some Amazon products. Okay, so SSS, he got my attention. He did all caps. Good job. Can you make a brand of private label products? Yeah, you can. And I talked about this earlier in the thing. So you can take private label products and make your own brand of it. So let's say that this is this greens powder. There's multiple different brands on there. Could you rip off this label, put your own brand of it? Yeah, but why would I buy your product? That's my question for you. There's already other products out there that exist like this. Now, could you take a product that has a really crappy brand? Maybe you look at this brand and you want to do something that's more feminine. Maybe this is too masculine for you and you want to do a more feminine brand, niche it down. Would some people buy your product? Yeah, probably. But you know what would be better? What if you took this product and realized, oh, well, this actually has grains in it, and I'm going to do a gluten-free version of it. That's a better product. Now you're making a product that's a little bit better. Or what if you said you could somehow make this even more premium and like super high quality, sugar-free greens powder? I think this one has like a little bit of apple in it or something, which that's fine. It's got a little bit more sugar in it than I would like. So if there was another product out there that was like a sugar-free greens powder or something, or somehow better, that's what you should be doing. Now, can you brand a private label product? Yes. That's better than just putting up junk private label products, but I don't think that's the highest leverage thing you can do. Yeah, so I'm reading some between Scott and I think it's like SS5. Yeah, when I say private label's dead, honestly, like keep in mind that it's still possible to make money. Creating a brand around your private label product is a step up, but an even bigger step up would be improving the product in some like some measurable way. And then obviously the best case scenario would be something where you improve a product and you make a better product than anything else that's out there, and it's something that you actually care about, because then you can actually tell you know for sure, is this product, how amazing this is. Let's see. Let's see. So Nick said, what city are you in? Los Angeles. And yeah, that's another thing I wanted to point out. Actually, this is really cool. I met up with a learner, a student from the Passion Product Formula earlier today. Steven, if you're out there, thank you. That was really awesome meeting with you. I'm in Santa Monica, and we met in, what was it, Flower Child, which is, if you're ever in Santa Monica, it's pretty good, healthy food, but everything in Santa Monica is overpriced. Like the joke here is you get like small portions for like double the price of everywhere else. It was like a fast casual place. Think of, I don't know how you explain it. But anyways, yeah, I met with one of the learners, and that was really dope. So if you're in Los Angeles, leave a comment, or please feel free to email me, send me a Facebook message. I want to start meeting up with more people in real life, because I spend all day on the computer talking to virtual people. It'd be really cool to meet with more of you guys in real life, whether you're a student of the course or not. So let's see. All right, we might have to make actually, another person did all caps. Ryan Rigney said, hey, Travis. Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Let's see. SS5, I'll get to your question in a second. Question, how do you market performance nut butter to grocers such as Walmart, Giant Eagle, etc.? So far I haven't. And this is a funny topic of conversation, but I've mentioned this before. My goal, like as I said, was to make $300 a day passive income. And within 2 months of doing that, or within 2 months of launching Performance Nut Butter, I was doing that. So for the last 2 years, I've been on cruise control, and Amazon's just been like doing pretty well. So I haven't approached any grocery stores at all. Honestly, part of that reason's been, I don't want to say laziness, but I haven't had a strong desire to do so. But the other part's been inventory issues. Amazon's been doing so well that I keep selling out of inventory faster than I can replace it, or about as fast as I can replace it. So I didn't have enough excess inventory to go after Walmart. But yeah, SS5, I think I could if I showed them the demand and said, look, I've done $800,000 of sales on Amazon, put this product on your shelves, I think I could convince them. Let's see. For Amazon PPC, what do you consider the point/percentage where your ACoS is too high and you should stop the campaign? So I have different theories on this. One of my theories is it depends what your goal is. If your goal is like the long-term success of your company and you have a product that leads to repeat sales, then it's different. Like if you're just trying to be profitable, then for instance, let me think of the best way to explain it. You want to make sure that if you spend $1, for instance, for me, if I spend $1, I better get $3 in return to break even, because my profit margin is around 33%. I think that's a 33% ACoS. Am I right on that? So that's my like break even point. But because my product it's something that once someone tries it, they're likely to buy again and again and again. I look at the long-term value of the customer, so I don't mind if I lose money on that first sale. So that's a little bit more complicated of a question, but I could dive into that in a separate video if you're interested. For your Amazon FBA course, clicking learn more is not doing anything for me. Oh, let me see. What if you click, there's a link in the description down below. Here, let me see if I can do this. I'm going to put in how do I do this? I'll put it in the chat right now. Passion. So passionproductformula.com will take you there. Or if you use the link in the description, either one. Let's see, does this work? I might have to do like a... I'll try one more time. I want to put it as an info card. Man, I'm such a noob at all this stuff, so bear with me, guys. Let's see, does this work? I think this might work. The learn more. I don't remember where the learn more button is. Okay, let's see. How do I... So it's not share. Analytics. No, stream health. Stream is healthy. All right, I'm gonna figure this stuff out better next time for sure. There's a way to add info cards in the middle of it, but who knows how to do that? All right, let's go back to questions because that's the fun stuff. So Nick says, do you maintain a home warehouse for direct sales, mailing / other needs? Well, I have the dance clothing company I started when I first quit my corporate job still is around, and we have a facility. We've got it's not a huge one. It's like a 1,400-foot facility, and I use that as like storage space and some other things. So in my apartment here, I don't carry a lot of performance. I don't do a lot of that stuff. Oof. I've been talking a lot. Let's do another max 18 minutes of this, and then we can wrap up. And okay, the link's in the comments for anybody that wants to take a look at the product page or the registration page of the Passion Product Formula. Definitely check that out. And I think the biggest thing I want to stress with the course, obviously, I've talked about 100 times about the deposit being refundable once you complete it. But here's the other thing: I'm a real person. I'm here for. I think a lot of people have this fear that they're going to sign up online for something and the person's going to run off with their money and go, live in another country. And I might go live in another country, but I'm still a real person. And if you email me and you don't like the course, I'll give you your money back. Just for honesty's sake, try to do it within the first 30 days. Every once in a while, I get someone that emails me like 60 days later. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I want to, I want my money back. And I'm like, well, he had 30 days to do it. What happened? So I'm pretty nice about that kind of stuff as long as you follow the rules. So let's see what else we got. Who here is from the USA and who's outside? So Nick asked who's from the USA and who is outside. I'm curious about that too. If you guys want, leave in the chat about that. So Nick said, I thought you sold BeatAnswer. No, I stopped working on BeatAnswer. My mom is still working on it. Basically, I was in charge of all the marketing stuff, but most of that is systematized. And at this point, we have so many repeat customers that sales are okay. Sales have dipped since I left. I left as soon as I started working on Performance Nut Butter about 2 years ago. And I mean, I still help out every once in a while, but sales have dipped a little bit because I'm not there, doing all the marketing. But it's enough for her to make a living. And it's cool because we have a warehouse. So yeah, BeatAnswer still is around. And that's why, that's another big thing I want to explain. Look, you could say BeatAnswer was a failure for me because it didn't make me that $300 a day passive income, but it was because of this, because of BeatAnswer, that I found out about Amazon. And the reason I want to stress this is, even if Amazon FBA, even if creating a passion product is not the thing that gets you to your goal, it will be the thing that gets you to your goal because it'll be a stepping stone, worst case scenario. Now, I don't want that to be the case. I think that Amazon FBA is one of the best ways out there to make money, but maybe you'll launch your product and it won't do as well as you think it will, or it won't do super well, but who cares? Because then you at least tried it with 100% and you'll learn from your mistakes. I learned from my mistakes of BeatAnswer. With BeatAnswer, we had 88,000 SKUs. Everything was made to order. We did all our own production. It was a product that I wasn't passionate about. And so with Performance Nut Butter, it was the exact opposite. One SKU. I don't do any of the production. I outsource all the production. I'm super passionate. I super believe in it. I'm going to be I haven't talked about this before. Here's some insider news. I'm going to be launching a YouTube channel for Performance Nut Butter soon. I'm going to be doing a podcast for Performance Nut Butter soon. I'm a little bit Ariana's out there. You come on in. Ariana was waiting outside for me. I think she was trying to be nice. How's it going, babe? We're just at the Q&A section. I forgot where I was going there, but basically I learned from all my mistakes with Dancewear, and even though Dancewear, it wasn't a failure because it's still around and it has been profitable, but it was the best thing I could have done because I learned from those lessons, and that's the important thing. This is an amazing opportunity, and I know that I actually, when I met with Steven earlier today, the student from the Passion Product Formula course, we were talking about it, and I know I've been doing a lot of negative thumbnails on YouTube, and I've talked about this in other videos a little bit, but I want to be very clear. The reason I've been doing that is, one, because it works. Honestly, as a marketer, I find something that works, and I'm like, yeah, let's keep doing this. And I'm going to stop doing that as much. It's still going to happen from time to time. But the reason I'm going to stop doing that is because I want to bring a little bit more positivity to the world. And I think my content itself is actually very positive because I believe that Amazon is the best thing you can do if you're excited about Amazon. If you're watching, this video has been like an hour 20. If you're still watching this an hour 20 into it, you're excited about this. Like, let me help you out. Obviously, you don't have to put in the deposit. I've got tons of free content, but as I'm going to stop talking about the course. So I feel like I'm selling it too much, but it's just like I really want to bring in more positivity, and I also wanted to let you guys all know, because you guys are the people. If you're watching the live stream, you're probably like a loyal. I don't want to say fan because that elevates me on a level. You're just like you're good people, and you're good supporters, I guess. And I just want to let you know that I realize that probably does get exhausting when I constantly have these negative thumbnails. And the reason I've been doing this from the bottom of my heart is because it works. And in the past, up until 6 months ago, I didn't have any followers, any supporters really. And basically, the way my YouTube following grew was I would do a video that was a really valuable video. Like I have an AdWords tutorial, for instance. And people came and they watched me for the video, and they didn't care about me. They didn't care about me at all. And so once I found something that worked, I just kept doing it, and I kept trying to do this like kind of, I don't think it's clickbait, but some people will call it like clickbait material, because I forgot that I have people that watch, like I'm realizing now, I have certain people that watch every single video I put out, which blows my mind. And I forget about that sometimes. And so what I try is, with every video for the last few months, I've been trying to like knock it out of the park. And if you look, I've had a few videos go, relatively viral for the entrepreneur space, and they've all been negative thumbnails. The content itself was very positive. The first one was my 1 year video, it's like Amazon failure. The next one was the 1 year video of Ariana, which was another like Amazon failure type. One was like the I quit Amazon, which I think a lot of people misunderstood. It was I quit working on Amazon FBA, which I thought was a very powerful message, but I understand now why people saw it as clickbait, which I'm learning. And this is another important thing. Thank you guys for letting me rant. I'll get back to the questions in a second. But basically, I'm learning. I think when we see people on YouTube, like when you watch me on YouTube, when you see people on Instagram, we expect everybody to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm learning every single step of the way. And that's the thing I want to tell to you guys. Like, you're learning too. You don't need to be perfect. Figure something that you want to do out, do it, and you're going to learn from your mistakes. And everything in life is a stepping stone. So now let's go on some lighter stuff. Let's see. You got another like 10 minutes of questions, and I'm cutting it. What are my margins? 33% or so. I talk about that in a lot of videos. I'm from the UK. Can I still take your course? Yes, absolutely. In fact, that's one of there's like a few different types of testimonials I want to get, and one of them that I really want to get is someone from outside the UK. So, I want to get all types. Do you recommend selling your product on eBay? You can. I haven't. It seems like a waste of time to me personally, but maybe you can make a little extra money. I saw someone was selling performance nut butter on eBay for like $35, so maybe I should do it. Jazzy Tay said, "We are your supporters." That's crazy to me. Yeah, like I said, 6 months ago or so, I don't think anyone would have said that they were a supporter. So that's like, thank you. I really appreciate that. So what is the best way around Amazon TOS for soliciting people for reviews? The best way is not to let Amazon find out. I don't want to get in trouble for saying anything, but Amazon, I think people think Amazon knows more than they do. Like, if you want to get people to leave you a review, here's a few little rapid fire things. Go to your gym and offer people $20 to leave a review. Amazon's not going to find out. Like, they don't have spies in the gym. Another thing you can do is you can download your customer data. I'm gonna start doing this in a week or two, and I'll let you know how this goes. Download your customer data, do Facebook ads, and retarget people that have purchased and ask them to leave a review. And there's some tricks to do this that I'm not going to talk about just yet because I want to test them out. But let's see. Maggie Free, a lot of feedback from the mic. Yeah, my dad's in the comments. I know. I don't know. It comes and goes. Thank you, Mr. Marziani. Oh, so this is. I'm gonna make fun of you, Dad, now for saying that. So this is my dad. He said I'm missing Trump's speech. So sorry for that. That's a dad for you. That's a whole joke. I'm not gonna get into that. Do you believe people that should only invent products? Okay, so here's a great question. Do you believe people should only invent products? I think that no, that's not the only way to do it. I think it's the best way. Here's the thing. If you're too scared to do that, I think doing anything is better than doing nothing. So I think the best way to make a legitimate amount of money, like if you want to make 6 figures passive income, like I've been lucky enough to do the last few years, probably going to have to invent a product or just like grind super hard. But, you know, if you're scared, do retail. And I say scared, I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that in a very like serious way. Like if you're nervous about it and you want to just dip your toe in the water, try retail arbitrage, try drop shipping, try any of those other subpar methods to start just to get your feet wet. And once your feet are wet, dive in, you know? Don Marziani asked, how live is this? This is very live. There might be like a 10-second delay or something like that. Sounds better now. Yeah, I see the sound comes in and out. We got some people, by the way, from USA, Australia, Mexico, all over the place. I'm going to go back through, see what other questions we have. Got another like 7 minutes, guys. So this is your chance to get in all your questions. Let's see what else. All right. Brady said he's going to make a nice review for me. All right. I hope to see you follow through with that. All right. Australians for Trump. It could be good, though. Can you talk about the differences between working with your Chinese supplier versus your U.S. manufacturer? Yeah. So with Vino cards, we do use a Chinese supplier. It's actually pretty simple. The good thing about the Chinese manufacturer I work with Vino cards is they do everything in one warehouse. Basically, we just say, hey, we want 1,000 units, and they take care of it all. They ship it over for us. My U.S. manufacturer, well, it depends on the product so much, and it depends on the manufacturer. I think one mistake I've been making, I'm gonna do a little tangent on this. One mistake I've been making is I've been treating my manufacturers like manufacturers instead of people. And so one piece of advice someone gave me recently that I want to implement is giving gifts. So I want to ask some of the employees what the owner of the company enjoys doing, things like that, and give them a gift and say, like, you know what, thank you for all your support. And there is one employee of the company, I want to talk to the owner and say, hey, this guy, Tony's been really good to me. Jeff's the, well, I shouldn't say any names. I'm not going to say anything, but basically one guy, I'll talk to the owner and say, you know what, one of the employees has been really nice to me, and get gifts for some people. Like, just to, you know what, like, to be nice to them. Yeah, I think working with Chinese manufacturers is super easy. Like, they're used to it now. They're used to working with Americans. Iceman27 says, awesome to see you go live. Yeah, I'm going to start doing this first Thursday of every month. Maybe more often if you guys like it. But yeah, I'm gonna work out all the kinks. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you like sticking through even though there was echo. So Don Marziani, dad in the chat over here, what was the best month you've ever had and why do you think it was so successful? Yeah, January of last year was the best month. And I think this is an important thing to explain is trend. There are things outside, actually this is the biggest thing to explain. There's things outside of your control with business. There's things outside of your control with life in general. My biggest month and my worst month, I mean, my worst month was my fault, I will fully admit, but it was also outside of my control. And my biggest month was because it was January. Everyone in keto was spiking. And my product is very good if you're on the ketogenic diet. It's very good if you're on the paleo diet. My product's very good if you're on any kind of diet because it's a healthy food item. And because it was January, a lot of people just started searching for my product. And another point I want to make from this is Amazon is a search engine. Amazon, people go in there, search for products and buy things. So when you are creating a product, you do want to make sure that it's something that somehow could be related to searching, like a search, but it doesn't have to be, like for instance, performance nut butter. Nobody, when I first launched, nobody was looking for performance nut butter. What they were looking for was keto snack. And my product came up to the top because of my product launch group, because I got a lot of reviews, a lot of sales from day one. So thanks, Dad, for that question. How do you go about getting a few prototypes for advertising in Kickstarter before you actually go to manufacturer to get mass? I don't have it here. Actually, I'll get it later. But let's say you were creating a product like this, right? And it was another separate greens powder. But other than that, it was very similar. All you would have to do, rip off the label, put your label on it. That's one example. That way you can get photos and stuff for Kickstarter. Or think of it as an arts and crafts project. My first samples of performance nut butter, I whipped up in my kitchen. The first samples of Vino cards, we took a similar product. By similar, I just mean it was a flashcard based product, and we printed out and we pasted over the flashcards, and so we could play with it and prototype it. Very simple to do. Yeah. Excited to start talking with you. Let's see. Do you train your students about... So Nick asked, do you train your students about microphone confidence, marketing, and broadcasting, etc.? You know what? I haven't, but I would love to. Like, that's another thing I haven't made very clear. My course is a work in progress always. Like, it's version 1.0, but I'm hoping to get it to like version 10.0 in the next few years. So, Nick, when people like you join the course, if you say, hey, I have this question, and if enough people have the same questions, first off, if you have a question, obviously join the Q&A calls, and I will answer anything on the Q&A, like anything and anything on the Q&A calls. But if I see the repeat questions, I will add that to the course, and so that's something I could easily talk about. Actually, I've worked a lot. Like Ariana is absolutely amazing, but she was so nervous before her first video. I hope we have somewhere some of the outtakes. She would, if she heard me talk about this, she would laugh too. Some of the outtakes were hilarious, but she's gotten so much better. It's insane. It's really cool watching her. So the whole like teaching about microphone confidence, marketing. Well, I do teach about marketing and broadcasting and all that stuff. I'm happy to teach you guys anything. All right, we got one more minute. One last question. I'll wait for it. And thank you guys for throwing a like. If you haven't yet, hit that like button. We're up to 36 likes. I'd love to see this get to 50 likes before the end of the video. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but let's give it a shot. Let's see. All right, well, definitely hit that like button on your way out. And I think that's it, guys. Like I said, I want to start doing this. I know this is Tuesday, but from now on, maybe Thursdays will be better. I'll actually tell you one cool tidbit of information. So I was in the Bahamas 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be doing a video on that in a little bit, and we're going to be talking about Ariana's best month ever. And so I was in the Bahamas, and one of the realizations I had is I do want to start taking performance nut butter more seriously. And I've kind of mentioned that. So my goal for the next few months, or next 6 weeks or so, in 6 weeks I'm actually going on a 6-week long trip I'm going to be going to Japan, Bali, and back to the Philippines to visit my assistants. But anyways, in the meantime, my goal is to work on performance nut butter Mondays and Tuesdays, work on basically myself, like on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays I'm going to do reading. I'm going to, what else am I going to do? Reading, and I have like workout classes, different things like that, like educating myself. Thursdays I'm going to be working only, like primarily almost 100% on the course and focusing all my energy there. Fridays I'm going to be working on the YouTube channel, and then the weekends I'm going to be having fun. So if you want, guys, my stories, I'm going to be starting to do a lot more YouTube stories and Instagram stories. So definitely, if you aren't checking out my stories yet, check them out. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Like if you're ever curious, like what a day in the life of an Amazon FBA seller is like, what the day in the life of an entrepreneur is like, check out those stories. And then, yeah, leave comments. Like not that many people leave comments in the stories. Some of my stories get like 3,000 views, but nobody leaves a comment. And so I'm like, are these even real people? So definitely, I posted some stories this last week in YouTube. If you're on the mobile app, you can scroll down and you can watch my stories. And I'll also be reposting them on Instagram. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Click on the link. Check it out. Check out the Passion Product Formula, my Amazon FBA course, and I hope to see you in there. Like this is going to be a lot of fun. This is a great opportunity. Thank you guys for joining. Bye now.